Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving deep into a story that has reignited old tensions and sparked a flurry of speculation in South Africa's political landscape. This is a complex tale of influence, allegations, and strategic silence, stretching from the Oval Office in Washington all the way to the heart of Stellenbosch and the corridors of South African political power. At the center of it all, Johann Rupert, the country's wealthiest businessman, and Floyd Shivambu, once the fiery deputy president of the Economic Freedom Fighters, now Secretary General of the MK Party. Let's unpack what's been happening, and why this resurfaced controversy is so explosive. It all began with a recent high-level meeting in the Oval Office between US President Donald Trump and President Cyril Ramaphosa. The meeting itself was already a significant diplomatic moment, but what really sparked public interest were the remarks made by Johann Rupert, who accompanied Ramaphosa's delegation to Washington. Rupert made comments about South Africa's crime crisis, highlighting how it affects both black and white citizens. On the surface, his comments seemed balanced. But critics were quick to point out a glaring omission: the fact that black South Africans are disproportionately affected by violent crime, by far the most vulnerable group in the country. Some viewed Rupert's comments as an attempt to soften South Africa's image for the Trump administration and secure economic confidence. But others, especially within the EFF, saw something more calculated, an effort by Rupert to protect his massive business interests in the country. With ties to luxury brands, tobacco empires, and major investment vehicles like Remgro, Rupert stands to lose a lot if the South African economy continues its downward spiral or if policy shifts threaten elite wealth. But here's where things take a dramatic turn. Following Rupert's comments in Washington, an old article from 2019 suddenly resurfaced, along with a damning screenshot. The article, based on a book by journalist Peter du Toit, alleged that Floyd Shivambu had a secret meeting with Johann Rupert at Tokara wine estate in Stellenbosch. At the time, Shivambu was still a top leader in the EFF, a party that consistently labeled Rupert as the face of a white monopoly capital. According to the article, the two discussed potential business collaborations, including a private hospital venture in Limpopo, and even exchanged political insights. Now this is important, because while both Rupert and Shivambu have denied any kind of close relationship or backdoor dealings, the mere possibility of such a meeting casts a long shadow. For the EFF, a party rooted in radical economic transformation and opposition to entrenched capital, any association with Rupert could be seen as betrayal. Shivambu has strongly denied seeking any assistance from Rupert and insists there was no inappropriate relationship. Yet the re-emergence of these allegations has led some EFF insiders to question whether Shivambu's departure from the party to join Jacob Zuma's MK party was truly ideological, or part of a long game to weaken the EFF from within. Some have even suggested, without evidence, that Shivambu was planted years ago to infiltrate the party and ultimately dismantle it from the inside. These are serious accusations. And while they remain speculative and unproven, the impact they have on political trust is profound. Let's take a step back and consider the broader implications here. Johann Rupert is no ordinary businessman. He's a symbol. For many South Africans, especially those in leftist circles, he embodies the persistent economic inequalities that date back to apartheid. Despite South Africa's democratic transition, the economic structure remains largely skewed in favor of a small, mostly white elite. The EFF has built much of its brand around attacking this very imbalance, with Rupert often painted as the villain in that narrative. So when someone like Shivambu, who once loudly called out the very structures Rupert represents, is linked to backdoor meetings with him, it sends shockwaves through the political base. It feeds into a growing sense of disillusionment and suspicion, especially in a country where political betrayal is no stranger to the headlines. The context of Rupert's remarks during the Oval Office meeting only adds fuel to the fire. By acknowledging crime in a way that conveniently flattens the racial disparities involved, Rupert's critics argue he was carefully crafting a narrative designed to suit American interests. And when you add in the resurfaced allegations about his links to a former EFF leader now in a rival party, the optics become even murkier. The shift of Floyd Shivambu to the MK party has been controversial in itself. The MK party, led by former President Jacob Zuma, is widely seen as a populist breakaway movement. While it claims to stand for the interests of the marginalized, many observers view it as a vehicle for political opportunism and a threat to democratic institutions. Shivambu's move to MK has raised eyebrows, and in light of these renewed allegations, it's prompted fresh questions. Was this move motivated by ideology, by strategy, or by hidden alliances? Let's be clear, allegations without evidence should never be treated as fact. But in the realm of politics, especially in South Africa, perception is everything. And right now, the perception among some EFF supporters is one of betrayal. They feel that someone they trusted, someone who helped shape the party's anti-capitalist image, might have been playing both sides. If true, it would represent a deep wound in South African opposition politics. But if false, it could simply be a politically motivated smear campaign intended to sow division at a time when opposition unity is desperately needed. Either way, the controversy speaks volumes about the fragile state of political trust in South Africa. It also raises important questions about the influence of ultra-wealthy individuals in our political system. Should businessmen like Rupert be engaging in behind-the-scenes talks with politicians? Should they be part of presidential delegations overseas? And most importantly, how can South Africans be assured that public policy is being made in the public interest, not in boardrooms behind closed doors? In the end, this is about more than just one meeting, real or alleged. It's about transparency. It's about accountability. And it's about the future of a country still grappling with the ghosts of its past. What do you think? Was this a case of strategic betrayal, or just political paranoia? Do you believe these allegations, or do you think they're a distraction from the real issues facing the country? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.